Lions Club presents the 61st Championships of Metro Detroit Golden Gloves, sponsored by Pepsi-Cola. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris McClure, along with Jackie Callan. Welcome to Novi High School. In the next hour, we're going to discover some 1996 Golden Gloves champions. Golden Gloves boxing, of course, is well steeped in the history of fighting in this country. Joe Louis and Thomas Hearns are listed among former Golden Gloves champions. And Jackie, this could be a stepping stone for any one of these youngsters that we're going to see.
Well, they're all hoping for that. This is the first step towards the Olympics. They go from here to the Nationals, from the Nationals to the Olympic trials, and then hopefully to the box office. So I'm here scouting and checking out what we've got coming up here. Especially I'm looking forward to seeing the really, really big rematch between Gibbs and DeMello. They fought last year, DeMello won, and I think this year it's going to be really, really close.
That should be an action-packed bout. In fact, they all should be. A lot of good young fighters are just on the horizon, so stay right there. We'll be back with our first bout in just a moment. The 61st Championships of Metro Detroit Golden Gloves is being brought to you by Pepsi-Cola. A novice division fight coming up. It features two 13-year-old youngsters from the southeastern Michigan area. Jonathan Banks at 5'9" and 140.5 pounds from the Wheeler Club. He's handled by a big name in the world of boxing historically, Alvin Blue Lewis. On the opposite corner, Jermaine Mitchell at 5'9", 139, also 13 years of age. He comes from the Dearborn Sports Club. Greg Coverson, a former pro, is one of his handlers in this bout. Let's pick up the action in the second round. I think, Jackie, in the later part of the first round, that Banks kind of got the upper hand, probably won it. He would on my card.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Mitchell just got a little bit tired and got thrown off his game plan. I mean, they're only 13 years old, and they're still learning.
Well, we'll take a look at Mitchell and see if he gets up on his toes a little bit. That may have been some of the advice, and he opens with a great shot.
See, he did that the last round, too. He came out, started really fast, and then got tired.
See if he's got staying power. They're holding on. We're going to get the hand signal from Tom Hennessy against Banks to stop holding. He got the arm of Mitchell stuck under his arm and pinched it there. Illegal maneuver. Velocity of the blow matters not. Accuracy does. There's a miss.
There's a nice shot right there. That's great.
Jonathan Banks with a pretty good right hand, and again, the white tape is what matters. And a warning, I think, to Alvin Blue Lewis. He's talking a little too loud in support of his man Jonathan Banks, but anyway, Tom Hennessy quieted him down.
He's got in some trouble now. Banks is backing him up again.
So Jermaine Mitchell, a good opening salvo, and then slowing his pace considerably.
See, he's back to being flat-footed again.
And he's missing and takes a big left hand, and now we're going to get a standing 8 count. Tom Hennessy stops the bout for the moment, stops the clock as Mitchell goes to the neutral corner, and the 8 count is continuing. Hennessy satisfied. He's going to let him go on. And Banks is going to move in and see if he can finish this. 3 times down in a single round and the bout will be over. 4 times in any
Mitchell's bleeding now from the nose. If you'll notice, he's got a little blood coming from his nose there.
If Hennessy sees that, he'll probably stop the clock again and call the physicians in.
He's going to watch him very carefully. This one's almost over, this round.
Again, a warning to Banks for holding on. And Wheeler walks into where Mitchell walks into a pretty good shot right at the bell. 2 straight rounds. Jermaine Mitchell has opened well and closed poorly. Jonathan Banks, I guess you would say, a little bit better paced through the bout, and he's certainly ahead.
Won both rounds.
And you can see a little bit of blood on his left arm there. I believe that came from Jermaine Mitchell. And the ring doctor, Dr. Mike Sherman, should be up to take a look at him in a minute. But here's some of the action from the round.
Nice
Huge
jab
left by Banks.
That was a nice jab.
That one led to the standing 8 count. And as I mentioned, Jackie, you can get knocked down or a standing 8 count against you 3 times in a given round, and then it's over, or 4 times in the fight, and it is over in any combination.
And of course, it's over when the referee decides at his discretion that either fighter's taken too much and it's time to call this one.
This is school. It's not...
Oh, they're not getting paid for this. This
Exactly.
is definitely a learning experience.
Round 3, the bell. Mr. Hennessy waits for all the paraphernalia to get out of Mitchell's corner. They're trying to get the stool and the bucket.
He's a good referee. He's really very attentive to everything that's going on, which is good.
Hails from Canada. And this time, Banks opens with the aggressor's roll. Working to the body is Mitchell. Banks is working up top, and we're going to get a stop.
Another standing 8. This time Banks went to the neutral corner on his own.
So he picked up that lesson quickly, and Mitchell is now standing for his second 8 count of the bout, and I think
they're stopping it.
Yeah, Hennessy says that's enough.
Okay.
The fight is over. Stopped by the referee in round number 3. So Jonathan Banks from the Wheeler Recreation Center with Alvin Blue Lewis handling him has won this bout. Take a look at some of that action. Big.
That was a good stoppage because you don't want these kids to, number one, get hurt and especially get discouraged.
Good shots by Banks throughout that whole flurry. He certainly has some nice tools as a youngster.
Yes, he does, especially at 13 years old.
Let's go into the ring and make this one official.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee stops the contest, and our winner is Jonathan Banks.
So nice effort by the youngster, the 13-year-old from Detroit, Jonathan Banks over Jermaine Mitchell. And we'll be back with more fighting from Novi High School, Golden Glove style, after this.
After one half of football, San Francisco leads New York 540 to 310.
In the future, it won't be just how hard you play, but how good your sports drink works.
Please make your selection.
With a third more carbs than Gatorade and B vitamins to unlock carbohydrate energy. All Sport is not just a thirst quencher. It's a body quencher.
Isn't that new 300-pound ball?
Yeah, here you go.
With a 156-pound weight limit, this is a senior novice bout. James Gabo, 5'11", 154 pounds. He's 26 years old from KO Boxing. Bill Webb handles him. And Chad Fleming, 5'11", 151 pounds, 30 years of age, from No Fear Boxing in Canada. Ron Hewitt has brought him across the border for this bout. Now, older fellows, but very limited experience, Jackie.
Oh, both of them are very limited. James Gabo is a construction worker. That's what he does most of the time. Fleming works in a factory.
Gabo in the red trunks. Blue trunks belong to Chad Fleming. Good match in terms of height and weight, reach as well.
And their headgears match their trunks, which is very stylish. I like that.
Color coordination is important in the modern sports world, isn't it? Ron Cunningham is the man refereeing the bout.
Checking his laces right now. They came untied on the right boot of Gabo.
So they stop the clock. These are 2-minute rounds in this particular bout.
And that can be really dangerous. A shoelace can cause a trip, and that could get a guy in trouble.
Ron Cunningham, pretty vocal in his instruction there. Generally, in amateur bouts, the referees don't talk to the boxers very much. They do everything with hand signals in terms of penalties and any warnings they might want to issue. Good right hand by Fleming over the top there.
I think these guys get quite intense, and they're not really looking at the referee, so they wouldn't really notice a hand signal anyway. So,
well, you got to shout to get their attention first, and then you give them the signal, I would suppose. Fleming working along the ropes.
nice left there from Fleming. But Gabo's fighting back.
They almost look like they're fighting a little too far away from each other, trying to find the range. That one gets by.
Barely, yeah.
A hook. Gabo
Fleming's
driven
just
back.
kind of jumping in there. It's not a whole lot of finesse here, but they're both real eager.
They meet on the gloves as Fleming works to the body.
And a slightly towards the low side, that last blow.
Nice shot. Jab right down the middle from Gabo. Jolted the head of Fleming back. One of the few scoring punches, really, when you consider that we're keeping an eye on the tape. There's the yell from Cunningham to break it out. Quick word for Gabo, and they turns him loose again. About 20 seconds to go in round number 1, scheduled for 3 at 2 minutes each. Tries to move a right hand around the side. That didn't get there. It won't count because he hit it with the palm of the glove. That one slides by the nose and the bell. That's a tough round to score. But we'll be back in just a moment to tell you what we think of it and look at round 2 after this. Coming up to round number 2, Chad Fleming in the blue trunks, James Gabo in the red trunks. Fleming, the elder of the two at 30 years of age. Gabo comes in at 26 in a senior novice 150-pound fight. Fleming drives Gabo to the ropes, and the shout from Cunningham. The third man in the squared circle is to break. There's a nice right hand from Fleming.
They're both real eager to go, so neither one seems tentative.
Kind of a stomping left jab from Fleming, but he scored a couple of punches in this round. We figured the opening round was pretty even. Somebody needs to establish authority in this bout, and Fleming is making a bid for it.
Right.
All those punches slip by, and they start to tie up. Little warning from Cunningham to Gabo to keep his head up. Watch his head. He's leading with his head. Sometimes that's the reason for the warning. Even though they've got that big gear on, you could get a headbutt cut.
Oh, he got a little uppercut in there, Gabo did.
Yep.
Kind of snapped Fleming's head back a bit.
He tries a jab with a right hand behind it, but he's just too far away. Neither one got there. Gabo tries to come around with a hook, and it's behind the head. There's a right hand down the middle, and suddenly he's hitting Fleming a little more regularly. A couple of good shots, and he drives Fleming onto the ropes.
It's the most activity so far in this fight.
They're holding on to each other. Uppercut
nice
by
uppercut.
Fleming down in deep, working along the ropes. Sneaky uppercut. Good stiff jab by Gabo. Stops Fleming in his tracks. Gabo's coming back. It looks like he might be in trouble in this round in the opening 30 seconds or so, but he's jumped back into it. We've got about 23 seconds to go in this round. Now Fleming drives Gabo back into the corner, working the right hand uppercut to the ribs.
Gabo's still going forward, though.
A couple of good jabs in there. And again, we remind you, amateur scoring, the velocity matters not. It's the accuracy, whether or not you score with the knuckle of the glove. And round 2 is over. A good comeback for Gabo in that round. It looked like he was getting himself in trouble and fought out of it.
That was actually a good comeback round for him.
5 different people around the ring will score it, and there always has to be a winner. If there's a tie, the referees or the judges have to circle somebody's name. They have to make a decision. Here's some of the action from the round when Fleming appeared to have Gabo in trouble, and this is when Gabo starts to come back a little bit.
Got a right just through there barely.
Sneaky uppercut. Fleming likes to work that short chopping uppercut in tight. He did that several times in the round. Let's join Gabo's corner for the instructions.
Jab. Go out there and put 2 rights and round the ball. 2 rights. You got me hard.
Wants him to use that right hand, which he did use effectively when he used it.
Coming up to round number 3, 2 minutes to go in this senior novice bout. We're at Novi High School in Novi, Michigan. It's the Golden Gloves Championship of the Detroit area, under the auspices of the United States Amateur Boxing.
Too much water over there in Fleming's corner. They want those corner people to wipe it up.
Look over the shoulder of James Gabo. The far corner, Chad Fleming, and now we're underway. They could roll the clock. See if he uses that right hand. It sounded as though Gabo's second over there wanted him to double up with the right hand, if he could.
The main thing is just to get it through, to be able to get through and score.
But don't forget the jab. The jab can set it up very nicely. Fleming throws one moving backward that popped pretty good. Now see, he's leading with the right. Forgot the jab there for a moment, and that's not a good idea.
No holding behind the head.
Ooh.
Just missed that uppercut.
He wanted him in the lights on that one. Of course, they always look more spectacular when they miss completely. At least sometimes.
Actually, Gabo did deliver a nice jab a little while ago.
Good 2-punch combo by Fleming, and Gabo fights right back at him. Like to see him throw a jab. The right hand can be effective if he sets it up.
This is going to be a hard one to score because it depends on what the judges are looking for.
Trusting souls, when the guy yells break, they pull away. Usually, experienced fighters will hang on and wait till he arrives to pull them apart.
But this is good sportsmanship here.
You
This
bet.
is the Golden Gloves. This is amateurs, and it's their learning ground.
Pretty stiff jab by Fleming there. Goes with a right.
Oh, nice
Grazed off the chin.
uppercut. Fleming is certainly establishing himself right now. Well, Gable's fighting back.
Right to the bridge of the nose with that right hand. Entertaining bout. He's got the crowd into it. Couple of shots inside. Fleming loves that rib and uppercut work down underneath.
Which is really very unusual for amateurs to be that good at body shots. So
There he goes, working to the ribs again. Now he comes up the center. Puts those elbows in, and it opens that path to the chin, and he brings it right up underneath. Nicely done. 2 or 3 times in this bout. And we're going to get an equipment repair for James Gabo, so we stop the clock with about 5 seconds to go.
That's
in
it.
fact, just 2 seconds to go. Big smile from both as they hug. Well done. Tough
Good-
to score.
good-
Where do
good.
you go with it?
You know, I have a feeling they might lead towards Fleming. What do you think?
I would think that you're probably right, because the more open shots, the more impressive open shots belong to him in the bout. Gabo was a little more subtle with some of the things he did, although experienced people ringside will see both sides of that. But again, we've got 5 judges, and if it becomes a draw in terms of the points, then every judge has to circle somebody.
Right.
There's a tiebreaker built into the system.
It's interesting, maybe because these guys are older, but they tended to fight more in a pro style than the classical amateur style.
Well, the judges have made their decisions. The cards are being handed into the ring. Jeff
Ladies
Umayan
and
now has the
gentlemen, our
information.
decision has been made, and our winner is, in the blue corner, Chad Fleming.
They never announced the scores, Jackie, but I'd be
No.
willing to admit, I'd predict that was a
Close one.
split decision. But it goes to Chad Fleming from the No Fear Boxing Club in Ontario, with Ron Hewitt, his second, in the corner.
No surprise there.
Not really,
I
not
think
really.
that was the right one. Right decision.
So the decision has been made, and we'll be back in just a moment with more from Novi High School Golden Gloves Boxing in a moment. 178-pound senior novice division. John Link at 5'10", 174 pounds. He's 30 years of age from KO Boxing, and Bill Webb is his trainer. Jared Winter in the blue corner. He stands 6'1", weighs 178, and is only 22 years of age. The junior of the two by a very wide margin. Grant Academy is his home, and Bill Grant is his second. Into this bout, we will go 3 rounds, 2 minutes per round. And the referee now checking with all the timers and judges, and here we go. 30 years old against 22.
And this one almost didn't happen because Jared Winter barely made weight.
178-pound limit, and he came in right on the nose, and I think he had to drop a little bit
He had
in
to
the
lose
last
a pound.
couple of hours. Yeah.
He had to lose a pound. Now John Link, he's a construction worker who's hoping to turn pro soon.
The age of 30, he better do it pretty soon.
Well, he said this is going to determine for him if he's ready or not.
Well, we'll look for pro-type skill right here. A little bit of a warning.
Hit after the break.
Gold trim belongs to John Link. Both of them in black trunks, as you can see. A stepping uppercut by Jared Winter froze Link in his tracks for a moment. Now they tie it up. Pull back cleanly. A couple of shots from Winter. Winter a good deal taller.
Well, if he uses that reach advantage, he'll be smart because he's got that edge.
Kind of announcing his punches as he moves in where it's going to come from. Long right hand. Raises the ear of Link.
Link's trying to get inside and
Yeah.
throw something if he can just get close enough.
He can get by an extended right hand, and now an uppercut as Winter
No
feinted him.
pushing, he pushed. Winter clearly pushed him and got a warning for it.
Kind of leads with his hips and brings his arms in behind. Does Winter, and then he jumps out of there.
Interesting.
2 minutes are done, and round 1 is concluded between John Link and Jared Winter. We'll be back. Round 2, John Link and Jared Winter. We think that Winter prevailed in round number 1 by a narrow margin, perhaps, but nonetheless prevailed. He's got a long reach. He towers over Link by 3 inches.
He's holding
Link's holding on. Winter is holding Link's arm.
Exactly. Not
And he's
good.
going to get the warning right
That's
now.
right.
Oh, to both of them. So both of them were guilty of the infraction. Winter extends those arms. We were speculating, Jackie, if Link can get in under his elbows a little bit and work the body.
He just took a shot, though. But
Yeah.
he wasn't covering up. Oh, and he's throwing from too far away. He needs to get in a little closer with those shots.
Then just walked into a couple of more Winter shots. There's the jab. And the bombshell right hand comes down across the ear. Now he's fighting uphill as he leans back a little too far.
See, he's out of range when he's throwing his punches, which is not good.
And he's also dropping that right shoulder and changing the whole angle of his body. Nice shot.
That was a great shot.
Great shot by Link, coming up a little bob and weave, and he came up in front and threw the shot.
He needs to do a lot more of that, though.
There it is. Oh, he missed it. Same idea, though. And Winter unloads a couple of shots on him. There's a couple more around the head. Winter is building up points now.
Right. Link
That-
better throw something back.
And they come cleanly apart on the signal. Uppercut probably scores. Look at
Another
holding.
warning.
Right
Oh,
hand
that
on
was
the
a
ear.
nice right hand that Link threw.
The Link counters with a good right hand, but he's absorbing more blows. No question about it. Winter in control of the scoreboard, I think, in this fight.
Absolutely, which means Link's going to go into the final round with his work cut out for him.
Oh, an elbow shot. He had his arm folded completely and put it right across the Winter's nose. And there is
Now
the
we've got-
end of the round.
Got some blood coming out of the nose of John Link.
They may summon the physician on that, though the blood flow isn't great yet. Of course, these days, any blood that appears, they take quick precautionary actions. Here's some of the action toward the end. Did he really have his arm folded? Well, he got it with the heel of the glove and then up the forearm, I think.
Right.
Not quite an elbow shot. Let's join the folks in Jared Winter's corner and see what they're talking about.
Okay, so you got to be smart. You got to throw your punches and move. Do you understand? What did I just tell you? That's right. And when you get the leverage, when he comes in and ties you up, you just move out with the jab. Okay? Get up and look at him now. You're ready. Last round. Come on, buddy. Give me some.
Nice corner work. Very calm, very
Yep.
direct. Asked his fighter to repeat the directions, which is good.
2 minutes to go. Winter probably in the lead in the fight by our estimation here at the table. 5 people who matter may have a different opinion. I think that was a warning against touching gloves to start the round.
John Link needs a strong round here.
This is where they wanted to come out of there with a jab. Bill Grant wanted Winter to pull out with the jab.
Well, he's certainly
Step aside.
using the jab a lot more.
Yeah.
John Link doesn't seem to use his jab as much as he should.
Warning to keep his head up against Link. Pretty good jab from Winter. 1-2 from Winter. Link is pretty much reduced to trying to counterpunch in under that reach. But he can't get to the body, which we both feel might be key for him.
It would be, especially the size difference, if he could just get inside there.
He's being held again.
Well, you can't hold
There's the warning.
punch.
Jab, jab from Winter. Oh, grabbed the back of his head, but he got a right hand out of it, did Link. Interesting to see if he gets a warning. He'll not. Winter's jab on the bridge of Link's nose stops him. He's trying to come in, and he checks up right in the face of that jab. Wild right, slides
Link's
by.
got his mouth open. I don't like to see that.
Breathing
He's
heavily.
looking tired, right.
He's back on his heels pretty much. Again, he throws that right hand with his arm bent. If he'd straighten that out, he might be able to turn it over at the end and do some damage to Mr. Winter.
Well, he's a gutty fighter. He's, you know, he tries
Big
really
right.
hard.
2 rights, 3 rights in succession from Winter. He's gutty, but not enough for the big man. I think that's the verdict here.
Well, he's a lot more of a brawler as opposed to a boxer. I think Winter has used his jab a lot more effectively and has certainly shown more movement.
Link is now almost pawing at the air, trying to get something done, but it may well be too late because the bell has sounded, and 3 rounds in the senior novice bout are concluded. Jared Winter
Seems to know he had that one, doesn't he? Looks very confident.
We'll wait for the official word from the judges, but I think will be confirmed. John Link against Jared Winter. Entertaining fight, I thought.
It was an entertaining fight.
Jeff Humayun does have the official result. Let's join him for the count.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, our judges have made their decision, and the winner is, in the blue corner, Jared Winter.
Barely made weight. Had to lose a pound in the last hour. 6'1", 22 years of age. He had the reach, he had the height, and he had the points. He wins the fight.
And he had the age advantage. 8 years younger.
And we'll take a break. Be back with more fighting, Golden Glove style, from Novi High School in Novi, Michigan after this. Couple of youngsters at 139 pounds. Duval Gibbs, 5'6", is the height, 136, age 16. He fights out of Dearborn Sports, and Keith Jackson is his trainer. In the blue corner, Pedro DeMello, 5'7", 139, just made the weight. A year younger at 15. East London, Ontario, is home club, and Bob Flanagan is his second. The third man in the ring is Frank Garza, and round number 1 of 2 minutes duration is underway. And Gibbs throws the opening salvo.
This should be interesting. These two fought last year, and DeMello won. He's the Canadian champion, so he's hoping to do it 2 years in a row.
A little more polish here than we sometimes see in this age group. Nice jab work, and then down low goes DeMello. Nice right hand by Gibbs. And you can see they're good extension with their arms. They know where they're going with their punches. Good right hand by Gibbs. He drives DeMello to the ropes. Again, they need to score with a front. Huge right hand from DeMello. Stuns Gibbs. Turned his head around. He's in trouble. 2 more. Close to a standing 8 count as Frank Garza looks on closely.
Gibbs is fighting back.
Gibbs moves across the ring, still moving forward, runs into a huge left hand to the chin, and another left hand to the ear, and a right across the eye, and another right as he moves forward.
But
DeMello.
Gibbs is still fighting back. He's still hanging in there.
DeMello in control, throwing bombs against Duval Gibbs out of Dearborn Sports.
He's holding, though. Okay, there you go.
Pace settled down all of a sudden. Pedro DeMello staying within himself. Didn't get too carried away with his success, and Gibbs nails him with a right. DeMello fights back. Couple of good body shots. Good evasive maneuvers by DeMello there. Big right comes up underneath, grazes the chin of Gibbs. Counter punch over the top as Gibbs scores. DeMello scores moving backward.
DeMello's got nice poise for a young fighter, though. If you watch his face, he's very much in control.
Dangerous looking right hand to the midsection from Gibbs. I think it was blocked. There's a right over the top. Didn't get much leverage on that punch, but it did serve notice on the shoulder, that right hand. A couple of jabs out of range, and there's the bell. 2 minutes are done. Great opening round. Duval Gibbs and Pedro DeMello. Second time in 2 years they've fought. We'll be back in just a moment.
Got no shirt, got no shoes, got no coat, so got me the blues. Yeah, I got no shades.
Hey! That's because you got no Pepsi.
Now the more Pepsi you drink, the more stuff you get from the new Pepsi catalog.
Got no mansion, got no yacht.
This might be the end of the blues as we know it.
Drink a lot of Pepsi, get a lot of stuff.
Good look there at Pedro DeMello. We think he carried round 1. It was an action-packed round against Duval Gibbs. Gibbs had his moments as we get into round 2, Jackie, but you really like the look of Pedro DeMello, don't you?
Oh, I like his style. I like his poise. He seems to be in control. He's not intimidated. When he gets hit, he knows what to do. But not to take away from Duval Gibbs, because he's shown a lot of composure as well.
He's thrown a couple of good shots in the opening few seconds of this round. These rounds are 2 minutes. The gentleman in question, 16 and 15 years of age. DeMallo is the younger of the two.
Never takes his eyes off of Gibbs, which I really like. Very focused.
Couple of soft jabs from Gibbs, trying to set up the right. There it is, and it misses. Swings it by. Now he goes to the nice left hand work to the body, up and over the top, and here comes Gibbs.
Great right hand.
Here comes Gibbs. Couple more to the body. He's doing a wonderful job working to the body. Is Duval Gibbs fighting his way back into the bout, and a holding warning against DeMallo, the Canadian. Couple of shots there from Gibbs again. Misses by DeMallo and scores in that flurry by Gibbs. Elbow to elbow they go.
Gibbs certainly has taken over the momentum.
Yep. Forced his way back
And
into
he's
contention.
moving DeMallo backwards against the ropes there.
Nice uppercut in there, another uppercut. And he leaves him with a left hand as DeMallo pulls away. A good jab, right hand to the body, over to the top. Climbs the ladder well.
Well, Gibbs certainly has neutralized DeMallo's attack. He's certainly kind of slowed him down, if nothing else.
Comes in a little bit sideways. He lunges that one and misses the right. But DeMallo has not really struck him a solid blow in the round. That one stopped on the gloves. That stopped on the gloves. Uppercut comes through. And round 2 is done. I think we've got an even fight on our hands.
Absolutely on my scorecard. 1 round apiece.
Good comeback for Duval Gibbs in that round. DeMallo knocked him around pretty good in the first round. In fact, I thought stunned him, nearly put him off his feet about a minute into round number 1, but he came back wonderfully well. Let's take a look at some of the second round action. There's that body work you like so much, Jackie.
Yeah, he's really trying to bang inside there, which is good.
And the uppercut. He used that weapon several times in the round as well. There's a nice right hand.
Yeah, he goes up and down. He doesn't just strictly headhunt.
Let's go join in on Duval Gibbs' corner and Keith Jackson.
Let's go get it, Mike. Go get it.
Go get him.
Ready? Okay, we'll take the whole 2 minutes. We'll take it. Don't wait for me. Deep breath. Deep breath. Second time. Let's go. Right away behind the gym. Get behind it.
Round 3, 2 minutes to go, and we'll have a winner. Good open for Gibbs.
He's really running high on that last round. He's got trouble now.
As he pounds away against DeMallo. He's got him driven to the ropes, and listen to the crowd.
Well, this is the most action we've seen tonight.
Well, Gibbs has got a pretty big cheering section here.
Yes, he does.
Warning against DeMallo for holding the back of the head, and here comes Gibbs again. Big right hand as DeMallo moves to the ropes. Misses with the right. Left stop on the forearm. But the aggressor is Gibbs, and that matters a lot in amateur boxing.
DeMallo's going to need to really start moving forward if he wants to score enough points this round to at least keep him in the fight.
Nice uppercut by DeMallo. Gibbs has scored a couple of right hands in the last moment or so. Trying to cut the ring right now. Moves sideways and steps in. No one scored in that flurry, and they break almost on their own. I think maybe Frank Garza said something. Here comes Gibbs again. He leaves the left hand across the ear of DeMallo in the corner. Pop, pop. Both from Gibbs again.
Yeah, he's really aggressive this round.
Big left, big left. That hurt DeMallo, and he's lying on the
nice
rope.
uppercut he slipped in there.
Ooh, 2 open to the face against DeMallo. He might be ready. He might be ready.
Gibbs is stealing this fight away.
He is. He was out of it, it seemed, in the first round.
Yeah.
There he comes again. The right hand across the bridge of the nose. He just simply will not let go. He's swarming all over DeMallo, smothering him. Uppercut at the bell.
Great
and
comeback.
It's over.
Really nice comeback.
warm round of applause, appreciative applause from this crowd.
And well-deserved.
And many of them believe they've seen Dearborn Sports Product Duvi Gibbs take the last 2 rounds. We'll know in just a few seconds after they clear the gloves and check the cards. Jackie, you like that fight?
I love that fight. I like both fighters, actually. I think they both have a lot of potential, and I think we'll see more of both of them.
And Jeff Humayan does indeed have the card. Let's go to him.
And our judges have made their decision. Ladies and gentlemen, our champion in the Class A 139-pound division is, in the blue corner, Pedro DeMello.
That's interesting.
I didn't think his lead had held up through that 3rd round when Gibbs was so much the aggressor. But obviously the
judges saw something different.
Yeah, they did indeed. And a few boos from the crowd, but there is the winner, Pedro DeMello, at 139 pounds. We'll be back in a moment. 201-pound limit. A couple of Thunder puppies. Mike Crocker out of the red corner at 6'1", 197 pounds actually. He's 26 years of age, is not attached to any club. Kirk Kulik is the man who handles him. In the blue corner, it's James Morris with the white T-shirt, 5'10", 195 pounds. He's 23 from Motown. Paul Susi is the man who handles him. Let's pick up the action in the 2nd round. Seems to us Morris may have carried the 1st round. He had the only 2 jarring blows. But in this game, the amateur game, that can be somewhat misleading.
That's the problem. You don't know what the judges are looking at. Also, when you've got one south, well, now Morris is backing him up.
Well, this is Katie by the door.
Yeah, he's a little over anxious there.
Kind of a backyard brawl sense to the thing in the opening 20 seconds of round number 2. These rounds are only 2 minutes in duration. These are novice fighters, even though they're 26 and 23 years of age, very limited experience, so they shorten up the rounds.
Well, that's what makes them novice. At their age, if they had had more fights, they'd be open class, of course, but they're late bloomers.
In this case, just starters. If you've won more than 4, you can't be a novice anymore.
Regardless of your age.
Regardless of your age.
Crocker's trying to use that jab there.
The one got through to the brow, and again, you wonder, does it count the point?
Well, it looked like it landed, so no matter if it was a heavy blow or not, it should count.
For that one, that little counter uppercut, kind of a slap more than anything, it scored on the tape. So Crocker's getting some points, and I suspect catching the eye of the judges, even though Morris is the guy that's thrown the only and somewhat limited thunder in the bout so far.
See, all those are landing,
yep,
and so they are counting.
I would think with that in mind, Morris would do well to get his hands up and stop a few of those on the gloves.
Well, it's almost like he threw himself out that 1st round. He's very flat-footed now and doesn't seem to be as aggressive.
And his mouth's wide open. He's having trouble with labored breathing.
He's in his survival mode right now.
He just ran into a good jab again as he tried to reach around with that right. Crocker comes in behind. There's a good jab. That's a good jarring jab from Crocker. His most effective punch in the fight. That one kind of snapped Morris's head a bit.
You see some blood on the face of Morris.
Well, he may be burned out. Certainly he didn't have much activity left in his body through that round. He stands 5'10", weighs 195, and he's 23 years of age. But I'll tell you something.
Look, Crocker's not even sitting down in his corner. He's standing up.
He seems a good deal fresher. I don't think people can begin to understand how physically demanding this is until you stand out there and try and do it.
Keep your hands up for 3 minutes straight without letting them down. Very hard.
You can go out and run 4 miles. You can do a lot of things that make you think you're in shape. But I'm here to tell you, as we look at some of the action, these are scoring punches from Crocker. I'm here to tell you it is difficult. All that stuff counts. It's on the tape. And then Morris brings back a right hand that swings by. Let's go into James Morris's corner as this break concludes.
Come on, you don't let this guy push you around. Okay? Come on. Push your ass out.
That looks like more of an abrasion than anything else.
A scrape.
It's like a scrape.
Perhaps they put a little Vaseline on it. You're allowed to do that to keep the abrasion from popping up on a fighter's face. The bell has sounded for round 3, but Tom Hennessy is going to wait till he's satisfied that everybody's ready. And he is, so here we go. About even in the fight. Crocker winning the second, Morris the first by my count anyway.
I agree. This will be the telling round, and it looks like Crocker is establishing his control.
Well, Morris is playing for the bomb, and Crocker's going to try and box him out if he can.
And they're both going with what they have to work with,
Yep,
obviously.
exactly. Morris is built like a bomber, isn't he?
Certainly
He
is.
misses with it. His arm speed is gone, and he's going to tell Crocker where things are coming from the rest of this fight, which is going to make it more difficult to land anything heavy.
His mouth again wide open, and so early in the round for him to be sucking air like that.
He reached with the right hand and didn't even get it there. He can't lock his elbow. He's not turning his wrist. He's just one exhausted 23-year-old.
I think right now he's just trying to survive and hoping that one punch might get through.
Crocker has to be wary of that, but you see how the arm just takes a half a week to get out there to extension. Crocker notices that, or his corner yells it out. He might step in at a little better range and make that jab work more effectively. There he pops
one punch got through from Morris.
Across the chest. He swings well. There's a good jab from Crocker. If he puts together a couple of combinations, hard or not, to accumulate a couple more points, I think he's got this one sewn up. That misses.
That connected. He keeps almost spitting his mouthpiece out. Morris is gasping for breath.
Yeah, he's dropping it off his teeth, and Tom Hennessy's not going to let him do that.
Right.
Of course, with the mouthpiece in its proper place, it's hard to breathe through your mouth.
Well, he's having trouble breathing, so this one's over.
So we'll wait for the decision of the judges. My inclination is that Mike Crocker will have his hand raised in just a couple of moments. Morris was tough and strong early with a big flurry of energy and activity, but he ran out of gas too quickly for this fight. We'll know in just a second when Jeff Humayun gets up there and accepts the decision from the officials. In fact, that has been done, so let's go into the ring.
We have our decision from the judges. Ladies and gentlemen, our winner in the senior novice Class A division, 201 pounds, from the red corner, Mike Crocker.
Well, our instincts were right on that one, Jackie, and it was a good effort by Crocker.
Oh, yeah, and he did what he was supposed to do. He boxed, he used his jab, and he won on points.
So Mike Crocker defeats James Morris in the decision, senior novice division, 201-pound limit, and we'll be back to Novi High School and more Golden Gloves boxing in just a moment. Senior novice bout at 132 pounds. Looks like a good one. Fred Hawkins at 5'1", 130. He's 21 out of Dearborn Sports Gym, and Keith Jackson, his trainer. And Rodney Robinson from the famous Kronk Gym at 5'4", 131 pounds. He's 23 years of age. Floyd Logan, the manager of record on this man. Let's pick up the action in the second round. Fred Hawkins, black trunks, gold shirt. Rodney Robinson from Kronk in the Kronk colors, the gold. Pretty even in the first round. The heaviest leather came from Robinson, but a lot of scoring punches came from Hawkins.
And they're still going at it. Look at that. They're really, really working hard, these two.
You're wondering if they could keep up that tempo for another 2-minute round, and it appears they're going to attempt it anyway.
Now, the smarter fighter is going to win this fight. Whoever settles down, boxes, and scores points, and doesn't just rush in there looking for a knockout.
Robinson kind of standing still as Hawkins stalks him. That left-hand attempt stopped on the glove. There's a right that scores. That scored big.
Oh, and
there's
that left scored good.
Hawkins comes back with a single punch, so he's outscored 2 punches to 1 in the exchange. Those went on the gloves. That missed. That scored. Feinted with the right. Hawkins stepped into the left jab. There's the right score.
Again. Missed with the left.
Jab scores.
That scored.
Glove to glove and arm to arm. Good jab.
Missed a big right there.
Much more intense look on Robinson.
Oh!
And down he goes. Just as I was about to say, he looked more intense. And Hawkins can't find the neutral corner. Now the clock starts on the count. 25 seconds to go in round number 2. And Robinson has been floored.
Well, that will edge the fight towards Hawkins at this point.
But it still counts 1 punch, and the round is over. So he's been down, but in amateur scoring, the damage is minimal. There's Rodney Robinson from the Kronk stable. Floyd Logan over to look at him. Let's take a look at the knockdown. Left hand, another left hand. That's all forearm shot, and there's the big one. That was definitely on the knuckles and on the point of the chin. That was a beauty punch. Down he went. Took a while for the count to start on the knockdown because Hawkins couldn't find the neutral corner. Let's go into the blue corner and Rodney Robinson.
Double jab. I want you to double jab and hit the man with the right hand. Don't single jab all the time. Don't single jab all the time. You understand me? Double jab the man. Bing, bing, quick, and let the right hand go. The man ain't going to be able to, the man can't hold y'all. He can't hold y'all much longer. Now, if you want this fight, suck it up and pick it up. Let's go. Let's go get it. Come on.
Psychologically, the damage to Rodney Robinson perhaps greater than the scoring damage in the bout. His advice, double jab and bring the right. He didn't jab at all and brought the right that time to open the round.
He was probably more embarrassed than anything else.
He throws a nice stiff jab that freezes Hawkins momentarily. Now Hawkins moving forward. Comes to right, that's scored. There's a big left. And Hawkins taking control. Some of his fans behind him all the way up to the side of the ring yelling for the knockout now.
I think Hawkins is feeling confident after that knockdown.
It was a wonderfully delivered punch that put Robinson down in round number 2. A good right hand. Slides off the ear a little bit. Perhaps scored. Good jab, but not a double jab from Robinson. He's having trouble getting that part of the game plan accomplished. Didn't even throw the jab that time. Mouth open on Robinson. Perhaps having a little trouble with his wind.
And Hawkins is hoping to get that picture-perfect punch again.
Left hand for Robinson did score. There's a nice jab. A lunging jab, but it got there.
There's still only single jabs, so he hasn't really thrown those doubles that his corner asked him to.
I'm not sure he has the arm speed to pull it back and reload and deliver a pap-pap double jab to set the right.
Especially in the 3rd round because he looks a bit tired.
Raw physical strength has its place in the game, but wiry guys succeed too on speed.
Backed him up again. Hawkins has
and he runs right into a left. Well, Robinson's about worn out. Hawkins seems fresher anyway. There's a good left.
And again, I think it's the confidence factor, Chris.
Much more controlled is Hawkins. Fighting like a man with a sense he's leading, and there's the final bell. And this latest edition of Hawkins-Robinson is history. We just don't know the result yet.
Well, I would sort of suspect that Hawkins got it, therefore evening it to 2 fights apiece in their little series. What do you think?
I think so too, and I have to guard against putting too much weight on the knockdown, but it is there. And Hawkins also had a pretty solid 3rd round to finish it out. We'll find out from our ring announcer in just a moment. They're gathering them up right now. There you see the gloves being taken off. Fred Hawkins, who we suspect won. They'll pull him over to the center of the ring in a moment. And we'll know. In fact, that moment is at hand, so let's go to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, our judges have made their decision, and our winner in the 132-pound senior novice Class A division is, from the red corner, Fred Hawkins.
As we expected.
As we expected, well-earned victory for Fred Hawkins. Highlighted, of course, by the second round knockdown against Rodney Robinson. So they even their series head-to-head. Two youngsters who have just begun their boxing careers, but Hawkins now moves on to the Nationals and at least has a chance to dream about the Olympics. And here is the most important moment of the fight. It's Hawkins, nearest to you, slides a couple of on the left side, and bingo,
Perfect.
Down he goes.
And I think that's what turned the whole fight around for Hawkins.
We'll be back in a moment with more from Novi High School. Welcome back to Novi High School. That's going to conclude this evening's bout in the Golden Gloves. But Jackie, we saw novice fighters primarily and some good youngsters, people with a future.
Oh, absolutely. You'll see a lot of these kids back in the Golden Gloves next year. You'll see them in the Junior Olympics, the Pan Am Games, and a lot of the amateur tournaments. That's how they work their way through the ranks, hopefully to turn pro someday.
We'll look forward to that, certainly, as they mature within the fight game. And on behalf of Jackie, I'm Chris McClure. Thanks for joining us here for this evening of Golden Gloves Boxing. It has been the 61st Championships of Metro Detroit Golden Gloves, sponsored by Pepsi-Cola. Good night, everybody.
Good night.